Greetings, everybody. I am Lobo, and welcome to Luna. This is episode 211 of my Minecraft survival series, and today we are going to be making our way back into Luna's lower Waterside district, but we're not working on the storage system, we're not doing any redstone, nothing like that today. What I actually want to focus on are these interior areas of the lower Waterside district. Now, we do have a lot of room in here. You know, we got some tentative plans for what we're going to do in this space, but I really don't have any idea of how I'm going to lay it out, how I'm going to accomplish it yet. So we're just going to work through this problem step by step. Starting with what we know is going to be located inside those interior areas of the lower Waterside district, and actually the interior areas of the upper Waterside district. Are you mad? Don't be mad at me. I didn't even look at you, did I? Snarling at me. Anyway, what's going to be located there, one of the main features in those circular areas anyway, is going to be nether portals. Is everybody cool now? Are we good? Anyway, obsidian. We need obsidian for nether portals. I should also probably put down a haze beacon so we can quicken this process a little bit. Now, as far as these nether portals go, they are going to be Luna's main nether portals. They are, after all, located near the very center of the city, right? So I'm not really sure how I want to do them quite yet. I'm not really sure how big we want to make them, but since we're here, I'm going to go ahead and play this on the safe side and just collect a bunch of obsidian. You know, like the entire remainder of this tower right here. So I may be here for a little bit, so just bear with me, okay? Alright, so I think that should just about do it. I'm fairly certain we've got enough obsidian to do what we need to do now. So, let's go ahead and make our way back to Luna and actually get something built. Oh, and I almost forgot to tell you guys, between episodes, I've been working on the layout of the storage system, just trying to figure out where everything needs to go. As I said last episode, I'm going to continue to work on this and just try to find a home for everything before we actually do the redstone and, you know, finalize this thing. But I mean, we still have a long way to go before we get to that point. You know, I haven't even finished all the areas inside the main area, let alone the outside areas. I'm going to continue to work on this in between episodes. I won't bore you guys with it since we did some of this last episode and, you know, that'd get repetitive. Oh my goodness. We're off to a great start. I just realized that I left my beacon in the end. I need that thing. Oh yeah. Probably be a good idea to go ahead and make a space in our storage system to store obsidian, right? You see this? I haven't even counted for some of the basic blocks in this game. This is why I'm taking this slow. This is why I need to take some time and just kind of think about things before we actually continue on with the storage system. So we need this to actually work. Oh my goodness, again. All right, so you remember how I was telling you I wanted to put nether portals at the center of these circular areas of the Waterside district? I forgot the dragon eggs already had a home here at the center areas of these circles in the Waterside district. So, I may need to rethink my plans again. What am I doing with my life right now? Alright, I've made a decision. We're not going to do one or the other. We're going to do both. We're going to make a much larger display for our dragon egg, right? And we're going to house the nether portals within that display. That's what we're going to do. We're going to have the best of both worlds here. Let's see if this actually works or not. This could be potentially a bad idea, but it could also be a good one. So this is going to end up being a multi-layer nether portal design / dragon egg display. We'll have a section down here in the lower Waterside district and a section up here in the upper Waterside district. Now, regardless of where we enter this portal, it should take us to the same place in the nether. Now, coming from the nether to the overworld's a different story. We should pop out the same portal up here every time, and I'm thinking that's probably going to end up being a portal at the upper side of this thing. So we will make quick access down to the lower areas in case this is actually where we wanted to go. Now we're going to get a little fancy with this. We're not just going to do a flat nether portal. I think for the sake of both convenience and aesthetics, we're going to do a 4-sided nether portal in each of these areas. Hence why I collected so much obsidian. Now as far as how big this thing is going to be, well, I mean, you can just look at it, get a good idea of the length and width of it, but then there's height to consider. And I think height-wise, what we're probably going to do for each of our layers is just kind of go up maybe like this tall, then we can start building over, right? And then for the second layer, we'll just basically kind of look down at this first layer and replicate it. Ow. Now, this does mean the display for our dragon eggs is going to be up here fairly high. It's going to be probably, I don't know, somewhere in this area, which does mean we're not really going to be able to see it from down low. But keep in mind, you know, I have plans for the Upper Waterside District. This is actually going to be built within a structure. We're not going to get too much into all that yet because I am not going to be ready to build that anytime soon. I do not have the requisite materials. I do not anticipate having enough of the requisite materials in the near future. So, I don't know. You just have to be patient. I just want to go ahead and tell you that now, just so you don't expect that to be coming anytime soon. We have a long way to go here in Luna. We have a long way to go. Now, before we actually get around to building our displays, it'd probably be a good idea to make sure these nether portals actually do what we need them to do, right? So that would also mean it'd probably be a good idea to go ahead and deactivate this portal right here since we're no longer going to be using it. I'm sorry, friend. Did I just take away your way home? You know what? Here, try this. Come out here, okay? And then you can get home this way. It should take you to the exact same spot. Hopefully. You know, let's make sure this actually works. So if we enter through the portal down here in our storage system, that brings us into the madhouse where we need to be, where a spider is waiting for us. Why? Alright, if we enter here, that should bring us back to the Upper Waterside District. Which it does. Perfect. So there we go. Now, if we were to enter any of these portals here at the Upper Waterside District, that would bring us to the same spot in the madhouse. Which it does. Good. And then this takes us back to the Upper Waterside District. Which it does. Excellent. All right. Now, as far as these lower portals go, they should also take us to the same spot in the madhouse. We're just double checking here. Which they do, and if we enter here, this should bring us back to the Upper Waterside District. Which it does. Excellent. Excellent. All right. So before we actually commence with building, I do need to make sure that this portal design is going to work on the opposite side of the Waterside District. So let me just go ahead and get the portals in over there, and we'll double check those as well. Now on this side, we are going to have to clear out a little bit of space. I've been kind of slacking with the House of Leaves and the Botanical Analysis Division. I really thought most of this stuff would be moved over there by now. I don't know, I'm just really slacking. But we can go ahead and get rid of some of these at least and just make a little bit of room for our project today. And we'll eventually find a home for all of these things. Eventually. Oh my goodness! There we go. Yeah, that's dangerous. Well. Oh, hello. Fancy seeing you here. You know, I'm just trying to do some work over here, so I mean, if you could go be a nuisance to somebody else, that would be great. In fact, just don't be a nuisance at all. Y'all remember last episode where we discovered, like, all the cows? Like, all of the cows? That's very fortunate, because here in Luna, I'm never going to have to want for milk again. We just fly over here, get what we need. Thank you, Betsy. And then we're back to work. Now, this portal tower should function the exact same way as the one on the opposite side of the Waterside District. Basically, when we enter a madhouse portal, that should always bring us back here to the Upper Waterside District on this side of the Waterside District. And no matter which overworld portal we enter, be it the Upper Waterside District, the Lower Waterside District, or our storage system, that should bring us to the same spot in the madhouse. And it's looking good so far. Okay, let's make sure this brings us back to the Upper Waterside District. Which it does. Excellent. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just double check the storage system portal, just make sure that's functioning. I'm not going to, you know, make you guys stick around for that. We'll just make sure everything works, and then we'll talk about our next steps. Dang it. I just misclicked. Destroyed my whole home. That's unfortunate. Now, as for our next step, now that we know our portals are working, it's time to go ahead and start thinking about how we're going to decorate them. And this is going to require a little bit of foresight. It's going to need to be cohesive with the structure that will eventually be surrounding it, right? The structure that is obviously not yet built. Fortunately, I do have a pretty good idea of what I want to use for the Upper Waterside District, the main building block. And this is why we're not going to be getting around to building it anytime soon. We're going to need a ton of this stuff right here. Quartz. And I've been primarily getting this stuff from trading with my masons, right? But unfortunately, that's a slow process for as many of these blocks as we're going to need. But I think we do have plenty to build these little tower display things. I am probably going to want to get that dragon egg out of there first, though. So let's go ahead and make sure we get these guys collected. And yes, I did say these guys, because we do have 2 dragon eggs. And for anybody that's curious as to why we have 2 dragon eggs, it's because this world has been played in 2 different editions of the game. So the first dragon egg we got in Legacy Console Edition. Then once the world was converted to Bedrock and we fought the dragon again, we got another dragon egg. So hopefully that clears up any confusion for anybody that might have been confused about that. But now I think we're finally ready to go ahead and get started building. So these are going to be central pieces of the Waterside District. Well, central pieces of the structures in the Waterside District. Basically, this is going to be the center of whatever we build around this area. So I want to have this in place so we know how we're going to be building stuff in relation to it, right? It's basically a step-by-step process. This is step 1 of that process. But I think at this point, we're ready to go ahead and commence with step 1. So let's go ahead and call Didi on over here, put on a little bit of music, and get to work. Welcome back, everybody. We now have these Nether tower displays in, but I mean, this isn't really what I had in mind. This is not what we discussed. This is not really what I was trying to accomplish here. I mean, we do have a little bit of quartz up at the top. I mean, that's kind of it. These are actually looking a bit more corrupted than I really thought this area would be. I mean, I guess it makes sense with the nether portals, all the nether portals here. But man, I was really hoping for something a little bit more pretty, you know? This is, unfortunate. Very unfortunate. All right, Didi, I'm assuming you and the guys over at Wolfen's Labs have had a little bit of time to look over these corruption samples, right? Can you tell me just what is happening?
A more in-depth analysis of the approach corruption was a 97% match to corruption samples obtained from the Nether worm. It is likely, based on the sulfur present in these corruption samples, that the infection has continued to spread not only throughout the land but into these structures as well.
So you're saying this is the same problem we've been dealing with, but a little bit different? Like you said, there was a 97% match, right? What is the other 3%?
The 3% variation is likely due to environmental factors. Researchers at the Wolfen's Aquatic Research Facility noted and are currently monitoring an atmospheric anomaly, which began to manifest several weeks ago. There has been a slight change in the chemical composition of the air surrounding Luna, which appears to have caused a mutation in the less mature corruption samples.
So the corruption is changing due to environmental factors? Changing how?
A significant amount of the mature corruption samples taken from the Nether worm possessed a dormant microorganism, which Wolfen's Laboratories believes is responsible for spreading the corruption. The more recent samples play host to a more aggressive and active variation of this microorganism.
A microorganism. So you're saying there's like little bugs in the corruption. These bugs are more aggressive and they're going around spreading the corruption faster?
That is correct.
Well, that's gross and also very, very bad.
That is also correct.
Well, Didi took some samples back to Wolfen's Labs. Hopefully those guys will figure out what is going on here, what we can do to stop the corruption. I mean, the only other people that would know anything about this are the, book lady and the enchantry. You know what? This is very important. Maybe we should try again. It's been a while since we tried to contact them, but maybe we need to.
The builder is the worst. Yeah, 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 yeah. The builder sucks.
Nope.
Did you guys hear something? Or am I just crazy?
I think Wolfen's Labs probably has this whole corruption thing under control. So I'm going to leave it alone for now, and we're going to go ahead and focus on something else. So you might remember last episode, we spent some time out in the world, kind of adventuring, kind of collecting some of the new blocks that came out in 1.17. I think I might go ahead and continue that today, because there are some blocks we don't have yet that I would really like. I don't want everything, I don't need everything, but there are certain things I do want. For instance, mossy blocks. And I know wandering traders have those, and I've been waiting for a wandering trader to show up here in Luna, but unfortunately, they're never around when you need them. So, I think we might go wander for a bit ourselves back to our 1.17 area and just see if we can manage to come across what we want. Now, I know the chances of us running across a lush cave at this point in time is basically nothing, but there are other options we have for getting these mossy blocks, right? One of them, of course, wandering traders. We already talked about that. But the other one is loot from shipwrecks. And as I recall, next to the desert that we spent some time at last episode, there was an ocean. And in that ocean, there might be shipwrecks. I think it's at least worth a try. We'll check it out. Ah, here we are. Breathe in that fresh air, that new air, that uncorrupted air. We're actually a pretty good distance away from Luna here, so it's nice. It's nice. I actually do notice a difference in the air, the atmospheric conditions Didi was talking about. All right, so here is our ocean. I don't think I'm going to look exclusively for shipwrecks here. I'm just going to keep my eyes peeled for anything that might be of interest. We can make a few stops along the way. Hopefully we do eventually find a shipwreck. I don't think we've loaded any of the chunks nearby, so this should all be new stuff. For instance, there's a little something right here. So maybe we'll make a quick stop at this and just see if there's anything worth our time in here. I'm not wearing a helmet, am I? Let's go ahead and put this bad boy on. That way we have a little bit more oxygen available to us. For some reason, we got a treasure map. That's probably the only thing of use here. But you know what? I like treasure. I'm not one to turn down treasure. I mean, you guys are used to me taking detours and getting sidetracked at this point. This is nothing out of the normal, right? And I mean, it's treasure. course we're gonna go looking for treasure. You find a treasure map, you mean to tell me you're not gonna go look for that treasure? You're gonna look for that treasure. Aha! There we go. I've always been bad at finding treasures, but you know what? I do eventually find them. So we got a bunch of stuff. Some of it useful, some of it not so much, but we're gonna go ahead and take everything here. And there we go. Excuse me! What's wrong with you? Man can't put his treasure away in peace. Hey, check it out. We got a thing for that. I mean, this isn't the first buried treasure we've ever found, but it is the first one we found on this account, right? Since the dimensional shift and the world conversions and stuff like that. What is this? Is that a geode? Oh, it is a geode. Nice. Well, you know what? Just like I'm not one to turn down treasure, I'm also not one to turn down easy amethyst. Kinda want this stuff. And there we go. So we now have a little bit more amethyst. We now have a little bit more calcite. I think I'm going to go ahead and leave the smooth basalt shell in place right now, just so we don't flood this place in case we do ever want to come back for any reason. But now we're going to continue on our journey in search of shipwrecks and other things of note. Hey! What do you know? I've been looking for you guys everywhere. What you up to? Ah, small drip leaf, huh? Rooted dirt. Okay, let's make some purchases here. Get some of this stuff, as much as you can afford to spare. And also, you had something else on you. You had the rooted dirt. Yes, please. And you know, I've never been one to turn down gunpowder, so why not, right? All right, y'all be safe. You know there's easier ways to cross an ocean, right? There's this new technology called boats. And check it out. There's another geode. I'm not going to harvest this one. I don't want to spend all day harvesting amethyst. But I mean, as much trouble as I had finding one of these last episode, seems like just flying over the ocean is the way to go if you want to find this stuff easily. Ah, here we got something else. Excuse me, dolphin friend. I don't need to go super speedy right now. Normal speed works just fine for me. Got another treasure map. Excellent. Now, I'm not going to harvest any more amethyst, but I wouldn't mind getting a little bit more treasure. I mean, I did mark down the coordinates of the geode. I'm not just passing it up. Mark down the coordinates if we do want it, but treasure's right here for the taking. Aha! Yes. Yes. Okay. This might be what we want. We have another geode right here, but also it looks like there is indeed a shipwreck over here. Excellent. All right, fingers crossed, everybody. Oh, you didn't cross your fingers hard enough. We did get the treasure map out of the deal, though. So that's another heart of the sea for us, which is always good. All right, cross your fingers again. Yes! Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Excellent, perfect. Mission accomplished! I I mean, aside from the deep slate, the moss block is what I think I'm going to get the most use out of. That's one of the things I really wanted out of this. So, very happy indeed. Let's go ahead and have a look at this bad boy. Look at it. It's beautiful. Did you ever think moss could be so gorgeous? Hey, we get another thing. We get another thing for that. All right, well, we do still have the treasure map. So while we're here, might as well collect another Heart of the Sea, right? Yes. Yes, give me treasure. Hold on a sec. You give me treasure in just a second. I need to clear out some inventory space. Oh, hey. I don't know what happened here. We should probably go. Now, we didn't get a ton of moss blocks out of that, but you know what? That's okay, because we only needed a little bit to get us started, and then we're off to the races, right? So if we were to put this in, or surround it by dirt, and then bone meal it, oh, we get all kinds of good stuff. We get these little azalea trees, which is excellent. I didn't realize I would convert all my grass into mossy blocks, but that's okay. You know, we'll find a better way to harvest this stuff. But this is good. Oh, and these. I love these. I want so many of those. Ooh, pretty. Oops. A little bit of unintentional overlap there. But ooh, pretty. I want so many of these too. I want so much of all of this. I think I feel a little bit more comfortable now though. We got more than 10 in our pocket. I'm feeling pretty good about this stuff. Eventually we're gonna actually farm it. But I just want to get a little bit more to get us started. And as far as the drip leaf goes, I believe we can bone meal one of these to get a big drip leaf, right? And then we can bone meal this to make it grow up a little bit. And I believe we can get even more big drip leaf from this, right? Let's just go ahead and make sure that's the case. So, do we need to harvest it from the top down? Or no, we might just be able to harvest that anyway because it just like all falls apart. We got 7 out of that. Excellent. So then to get more big drip leaf, we don't even need to dip back into our little drip leaf. We can just put one of the big ones down here, bone meal that up as much as we want, right? And then, yes. Perfect, I love it. You know, that was a successful outing. We've had 2 pretty successful outings in the past 2 episodes. I'm actually pretty happy about that. But I do think that's where we're going to go ahead and call it for this one. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please be sure to hit that little thumbs up button. That would mean a whole lot to me. And if you want to see more, please remember to subscribe. But as always, I just want to thank you guys for hanging out today. I deeply appreciate it. And until next time, I am Lobo, and I will see you guys later.
Making up a song about killing the builder in a bunch of different ways, because he's the worst that ever lived, so he shouldn't live anymore.